I'd like to call this meeting to order. We appreciate everyone that's here in attendance this evening. We have with us this evening Reverend Trey Harris from Hope Mills United Methodist Church to lead us in our invocation. It will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All please rise.
If you would, let us pray. Dear Lord, we give you thanks for this day, for the blessings you have bestowed upon us, and for this wonderful town of Hope Mills. We give thanks for our commissioners as well as those who have volunteered to serve us and our citizens, Father. I pray that you will remind them who they are here to serve, this community, but also you as well. I pray that you will give them the wisdom and the leadership that they need and the discernment to make the best decisions for us as citizens of Hope Mills. And we just pray a special blessing upon this time here tonight. Be with us with your spirit. We pray this in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this time, I have one addition that I've been made aware of, and that would be to our agenda, and that would be to add a closed session to discuss a personnel issue and consult with the attorney on matters within the attorney-client privilege. And that will be at the end of our meeting. Is there any other additions or deletions to our agenda?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Seeing none opposed. Right, we have official comments now. I'll start with Commissioner Marley.
I don't have anything at this time, Mayor.
Okay, Commissioner Scarola.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, no one in the front row again? Oh, come on. I promise I won't break. But welcome to the meeting. It's going to be fun. At least I think it's fun.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all I have.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm always late. I would just like to say happy belated Mother's Day to all of the mothers. And the meeting that we just had was a budget workshop that was recorded. So I would encourage all of the citizens to go back and review that recording. And if there's questions or suggestions that you would like to give to us, that would be some appreciated feedback. That'd be all, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I just have one thing, and that is to invite everyone to the ribbon cutting for the Thomas Oakman Memorial Chapel. It will be held this Friday at 11 a.m., and it is ready. We've got it ready for the public and ready to start being used. So again, this Friday at 11 a.m., and that's the chapel on Main Street. Turn it next to Commissioner Mitchell. I put it together. One name.
Good evening. Thanks everyone for being out tonight. Just want to say thanks to our police department for an excellent rodeo they had this past Friday. For those of you that did not make it, did not attend, I want to commend them, especially the ones that spearheaded it, Jamie and Derek and Chief Dollinger. Thank you all for that event. It's something that's been long overdue in the community. And I also want to take this time to say that Prime Movers had an excellent event too, and all the other committees that had these events the past 3 weeks we've been busy. But it's something that the community needs, and it's about bridging and building a strong community. Thank you.
Commissioner Legg.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I'm going to echo the other thoughts of it's good to see everybody out here this evening. We certainly invite people to come so they can keep up with some of the stuff that's going on in town and around town. Again, if the mayor don't mind, I'm going to tell you I'm a proud grandpa because my freshman daughter at Southview High School has been named drum major for next year. So I'm very proud of that. So that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Okay, say thank you.
I'm sorry. I would like to thank the police department, the fire department, Parks and Rec, and everybody that helped with the Prime Movers event this weekend. So I really, really appreciate it, and all of the citizens that came out to support us. I really just forgot to say that, but I really appreciate you all helping out with that event.
I knew it, yeah.
Okay. And we have this, of course, everyone probably is not aware, but there's going to be, it's called the March to Liberty, Sunset March to Liberty. That's what's going to happen is starting on June 1st, there'll be a march that is signifying the change of the name from Fort Bragg to Fort Liberty. And you can go online now, and I don't have the site with me, but we'll get that site for you. But you can actually go online and sign up to be a part of that first march. But every evening from here on out, there'll be a march to Liberty, and that march, what's going to happen is at sunset, and they'll recognize different veterans as they go through the year. But again, you can sign up now. And I've been remiss if we didn't mention that.
Madam Mayor.
Next, we have our public safety building project update, and that's going to be presented by Scott Garner.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm glad to be with you. We have, over the last 2 or 3 weeks and weekends, we've had a lot of activity at this site. The sanitary sewer connection to the library is at last complete. We have had our test, been tested in getting that done, but finally that has been done. It's connected and is in operation. The apparatus apron has been placed. The firefighter parking has been constructed. We are on the downhill side, so, or the short rows, as some people would say, but we're getting very close. And the TCO, temporary certificate of occupancy, expires on 5/19/23, which is next Friday, and the goal is to get the certificate of occupancy by that time. If they stay at the pace they're working, we should be able to do that. So that is the goal. And we're looking forward to that. There's cleanup to do, dress up to do, and just some final things on the punch list. So that will take another week or two, but we're working toward that. So do we have any questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Just
We're
glad to
looking
see it
forward
moving
to
along
wrapping this
smooth.
up.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank you.
being here. Next, we're very fortunate in that we're trying to do everything we can to partner with Fort Bragg and make sure that we can stay up to date as a municipality. But tonight we have with us the civilian affairs representatives from Fort Bragg, and they're going to do a presentation on emergency preparedness. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves so that their names will be in the actual recording, and I'll turn it over to them now. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I am Captain Martinez, and I am the team leader for Civil Affairs Team 265. As mentioned before, we are stationed in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and this is where I have been living for the last 4 or 5 years of my life. The reason why I'm addressing you today, some of you already know, is because we have been working with Mr. McLaughlin and other members of the town in order to conduct realistic military training. This is not training that is going to include a bunch of helicopters, tanks, and military equipment going around. It has a different focus. The focus is on identifying and giving solutions to the town of Mills when it comes to preparedness for emergency services. So everything goes down to basically our team, which is composed of 4 different members, as displayed on the screen. I am the team commander, Captain Martinez. Sergeant Pinchuk is over there sitting down. The other 2 guys, I didn't make them come here, but they're enjoying their day off today. Sergeant Quack and Sergeant Castro, they have been around a couple times before. But yes, it's basically our team. We come here, we engage with different elements and members of the emergency services of Mills. We identify vulnerabilities, strengths, weaknesses, and different gaps that the town might have when it comes to emergency response. How do we do this? We do this by visiting the different facilities, by engaging you, ladies and gentlemen, like I am doing today, like I am engaging with the chief of police, the chief of fire, or the different heads on the departments of the town. That's basically a resume of This is the last slide. This is the plan that we have been working with Mr. McLaughlin. The training and the engagements that we are planning are going to start on May the 22nd, which is next week on Tuesday, and they're going to last for 4 days. We are planning on meeting one department and the chief of such department per day. We are going to meet. We are going to identify the different capabilities or the strengths that the town might have in regards to that department. And we are going to do a different department each different day for 4 days. At the end of the week, my team and I are going to prepare some document that is going to have some recommendations and is going to hopefully help the town of Mills prepare for future disasters and emergency responses that we may have. Again, this is not a very invasive training event. We are very flexible and accommodating in regards of the schedules and the needs that the town might have. And this is just a preemptive schedule for what is going to be. We are planning on meeting with the chief of fire, chief of police, public works, stormwater, what we believe applies the most when it comes to emergencies to the town of Mills. And that's it. You guys have any questions?
Well, thank you. I just appreciate you coming and helping us with this, because we know as we've had a need for emergency services, and we've had, for instance, the hurricanes that we had, being able to put everything together and knowing what we have here and what best we can use, I think it's great. So we appreciate you being here as part of this assessment, and we also appreciate all you're doing to keep us safe.
Madam
Thank you
Mayor.
very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
One question, Captain Martinez.
Yes, of course.
Do the civil affairs still have the little short introductory video they used to introduce to community to show how y'all interface in the community? There used to be a video they show how they go into a community, mainly it was overseas though, and they show how they go into a community, they interface with the hospitals, the
Like
different infrastructure.
Pre-deployment training?
I mean,
Correct.
huh? Yes.
I have the video, but I didn't send it for this
Right.
presentation.
Just
because
understand.
of Time constraint.
Mhm,
because
right.
the file was
I'm
too
talking about
much.
so we can share it with our interim town manager, and maybe
yes,
post it on our site so citizens can see it, so they will understand how important you all are in the community in the event there is a natural disaster or major emergency.
Of course.
Thank you.
Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you also for being here. All right, next we have the Hope Mills Sports Complex concepts presented by CHA Consulting.
Man, okay. More paper to take home?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This looks like more counties.
Hmm?
This looks like more counties.
It's in Moore County.
I think this is what it looks like, the way there's a setup.
Moore County?
Uh-huh,
Oh.
Moore County.
I never seen it.
It's new.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We practiced the 7 Ps, so we had a couple different ways of doing it. So we have paper, we have the original. What we're doing is, we've been working closely with Lamarco Morrison and the Parks and Rec staff, developing, from the original master plan, some baseball fields for the site. This is not your site. This is a site that we've done in the last 4 or 5 years in Abington, Virginia. I brought this one on purpose because this is what everybody thinks of a baseball park is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a pinwheel with 4 fields. There's a problem with it though, in that you're always gonna have one field that has bad solar orientation. And anyone who's ever played right field or first base or been the guy, and so in some cases, the pitcher is looking directly into the sun, so it just doesn't work out that great. Also, my head hurts when you're close to the main part, when everyone is around each other. You can hear all the different murmurs from the other different fields. It's a little bit, it's great when you have that size location. The location that we're working on is a little bit better, so it has some more opportunities to it. That's the whole site. That's the whole piece of property, and we're trying to maintain the top third of the property when we're doing the work. Through the iterations, we went through a couple conference calls with the Parks and Rec, and then we went with the and then we had a couple in-person meetings and a couple on site. Today, Jamie and I went and we walked the for stormwater management because when you get through with this, what happens in the design many times, if we're not involved with the whole thing, stormwater gets kind of pushed to the side. So what we tried to do was maintain a great spine in a place for a lot of different things on there from the legend. The really neat thing that we did on this one is the solar orientation. It shows the different fields. If you see wherever there is red, those fields have limited solar orientation where it's good or bad. So this one has a lot of it has you obviously can't hide the sun. The sun's going to be there, so you're going to have some times when the sun's going to be a problem. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to maintain 2 large ball fields, 2 softball fields, and one that's expandable that you can basically have a softball or a baseball on it. Also, you can look on field A. We actually have a rectangular. You could actually do multi-purpose in the outfield for that field there. We have batting cages. We have a roundup for a playground. There's a spine down the middle of it that basically maximizes the space to make it more of a welcoming area. And we also, our original parking, we're trying to minimize the amount of traffic going right in front of the site by having the alleys the way they are. We're trying to do about 50 parking spaces per field. The next time you go to a sportsplex and someone says, "Boy, there's so much parking here," it'll be the first time you ever heard it, because it's just there's always a limited amount of parking. What we're trying to do here is plan for the future. There's also parking to be shared, but with other amenities that will happen in the future on this site. So that was our scheme A. Well, just a step back, we actually came up with 6 plans to begin with, and then we worked it down to 2. And then we liked our one so much, we had to come up with a third one. So we had to give Lamarco a third one, because we couldn't not share it with them to look at it. So that's number 1. A, B, and C. There's no rhyme or reason or which one. This one kind of goes back to the center ball, the center pinwheel, but instead of having all the fields facing out, we have C and D, field 5 and field 4 turned in the other direction, because it helps with the solar orientation of the fields. You'll notice the square on just below the solar orientation. We also looked at the wind. The wind is kind of unique in this area, in that it blows in the northwest in the springtime, and blows in the southwest in the fall. So we wanted to make sure that the fields no one was gonna have an unfair advantage with that. So we basically kept the same parking in this one, and we have the 5 fields. You still have bullpens, and this one, the spine down the middle kind of disappears a little bit. You don't have a lot of room for for amenities. One of the things we were looking at is, if we don't do a building with a concession, you could actually have an area to put in a food truck rodeo, to have the food trucks come in and line them up and have a space for them. Let's go to the last one. The last one kind of takes on both A and B and kind of pulls them together, and that you still have the center building, but you have a little bit more of a promenade going down the middle of the field, and it kind of, all the fields are trying to maintain as the maximum. This setup here actually has the best solar orientation of all the sites. The other thing we're looking at is maintaining the the ramp, the road around the back by the maintenance building and maintaining that nice, when we were out there today, we saw at least 10 people out there walking around there to make sure that that amenity stays, that it doesn't go away, and try to incorporate as much as we can, the natural contouring of the site, and having spaces for stormwater, and making sure, what's the road? Parkland, making sure that storm drain has a location, because the water's coming down that road and goes right down through the middle of the site into the ponds in the bottom of the site. I believe, yeah. So you guys can, any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer them.
It's your department, man. What is it? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have a clue.
What's the depth on these fields?
The fields range, we actually, on the, I believe we say on the fields that there's one field is 300, one of them is 225, and we have a 325 as well. Actually, it's 325, 350, 320. So the one on the A field would be up to high school level, and then the other three are all other four are convertible.
I can't hit it out of the smallest one, it doesn't matter. Madam Mayor, if nobody else got anything, I'd like to ask if Marco or Maxie could come up.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
What was the cost, the turnkey cost of a project like this?
Oh, wow. 3 years ago, I could give you a really good answer.
Give me a swag.
What's that?
Take a
it's-
swag at it.
Yeah, it's we can probably, that right there is probably a $9 to $10 million
I say 9.5
swipe.
K.
And that's all turf fields with sand cap fields with parking lot and everything. I mean, concrete has gone from $35 a
Right.
cubic yard to 100, and it's like, yeah, I look at, we get change orders, we're like, there's no way this is right, and then we're like,
Right.
holy smokes, this is what it
That's
costs.
right,
Yeah,
yes.
it's just gotten.
Well, concrete's going up.
Yeah.
Did you design the one that's in Moore County,
I don't believe so.
in
No, we did
Carthage?
not.
It looks very similar to this. That's why when I first saw this picture,
Mm-hmm.
it looks very similar to it. But that would be a location where if somebody wanted to go look
Yes.
of the
yeah.
concept, because the concept looks very, very similar to this, what you have on the front page.
Okay, yeah, and it's that is very much a, it's not, not to be mean, but it's if you have a site that's that shape, that maximizes the most amount of fields. What we've done in some cases is you can sometimes fit 5 fields around a pinwheel if you can expand it out a little bit, but you really can't. If we tried to do a pinwheel on this site, it would be very difficult to get more in there because it's kind of pinched up in the top there. But Marco, we first asked for 4 fields, and then he pushed the limit and asked for 5, and we went back to the drawing board and we came up, we tried to fit the 5th field in there, try to make it work. And with field 3 and field 1 being convertible from being softball or baseball, it makes it easier to do it.
Yeah, at the way we sit here now, everybody says you got plenty of fields. Well, we don't have any football fields, we don't
Right.
have any soccer fields, but we do. Because these fields out here behind Town Hall, all you have to do is change the striping. You don't have to move the lights or anything. We're very fortunate to have those fields, but the fields we got are not up to par to what it takes to host a money-making tournament.
Right.
And that's what the future of Hope Mills is going to be the recreation at the Greenway. Although we're doing a lot of stuff out here, it's a lot of, I'm gonna call it catch-up
Yeah.
for us.
On this concept B, field 1, 2, and 3, it's very, very faint, but we have a red square. It's a U12 soccer field in there, and to incorporate that, the grading is a little bit different. The grading of a baseball field starts at the pitcher's mound and goes out at 1% and goes out. So if you're going to do that, the grading in the outfield gets a little funky, but it's all doable. You can make it work.
Yeah,
But
whatever
you can
Parks and
very,
Rec,
very easily do that.
whatever they decide they want.
Yep.
But we do have that out here now.
Yeah.
The only thing we'd have to do, like I said, put lines on the field,
Yep.
turn them loose.
And you guys have great sand, unlike many parts of the country where we're doing our work and we've got a lot of clay.
That's
We
what we
have,
call the
we have
sand
good
hills.
crowds. I don't know about the
Exactly.
fans.
You didn't get named that sand hills for no reason.
It takes I'm a future coach and an umpire here, so I've seen both sides of it, and I think every coach should have to go to an umpire clinic.
Well, you wouldn't believe that one of the gentlemen who has helped us with this design, he was coming up with solutions on how to make an easy exit for an umpire. Because of the things that go, I'm serious, because of the things that go on today with how umpires are treated, and you don't want to get them cornered.
Right.
Anything from any of the other commissioners? Do you have a question or thought?
For the, I do, Madam Mayor, sorry.
Okay.
For like, field, let's just look at A, and that yellow rectangle in there, like, would that fit like a, I don't know, like, was that yellow rectangle size comparable to, is like comparable to a football field, or?
No,
I-
it's called it's a U12 soccer field, so it would be a maximum of 300 by, I think it's 145.
Okay,
The only way you could fit, if you were gonna fit a real size soccer field out there, you basically have to put notches where the bullpens are and the where the Fs are on the A.
Yeah.
And then you can push it out that way, but you also have to push it out that way too, so it all grows. When we do synthetic turf fields, sometimes we'll do them in both ways, and you only have to add about 15% more turf, and you can get a soccer field and cover up the outfield without having the infield touched at all.
Commissioner Marley, you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem? All right.
Yes, boss.
Sorry I didn't get a chance to introduce these guys, but I just want to let you all know that we chose CHA through an RFP process mainly because the design team has over 90 years experience in sports fields design, and they've done over 45, 15 of which are in North Carolina, so they're familiar with our area. The second thing I want to ask you all as far as action, we all, Maxie and my whole department, have our favorite, but look at the concepts and, you know, kind of give us an idea of which one is your favorite. Don't have to decide tonight, but we would like to get your input via email or other methods. Give me a call so that we can give CHA our comments and then give them permission to move on to the design development phase. And the third thing, which I've been asking questions, is very important. In keeping with the master plan, only around 30%, probably less than that if you don't count the parking, of the site is used for sports fields. And so the master plan was the same way. The majority of the site, which is over 60 acres, is still open for open space, trails, and things of that nature. So all the concepts are in keeping with the master plan. And Max, want to add anything? This was a joint effort. Max and I teamed up with the rest of the staff to kind of give input. He's the athletic piece of it. On baseball also.
So yeah, we went through several concepts with CHA. What we chose, one field we could play up to high school level, as they said, the 2 300-foot fields and the 2 225 fields. Gives us a lot of ability to move bases in, move fences out. Not only that, with the stadium, opens up a lot of abilities in addition to football, soccer fields, concerts, movie nights, a lot of other opportunities as well. The way the park is laid out takes into consideration not only the sports complex, but also, as I said, the other amenities throughout the park.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
And I, very briefly, Mr. Dub, if you don't mind, because, you know, I get that the town is pouring money into baseball and it's a dying sport and all of these other things. Could you just briefly give us it, because someone viewing this may not completely understand the economic impact that these baseball fields could do for our community?
So I'll use Lumberton as an example. They've hosted 2 World Series in the last 5-6 years, I believe. One was a Division I, one was a Division II. 76 teams across 11 southeastern states. Over 3 million is what they pumped into the economy. Restaurants, hotels, so on and so forth. Not only that, but the weekend tournaments are a big draw. We had some of the DYB directors here on opening day. Dunn is putting in, they are bidding for a World Series in 2025. If this is something we could pull off, we could possibly be hosting World Series in 2027, 2028.
Do you have a favorite diagram?
Which one do you like?
It seems to be unanimous. Everybody I've talked to see. And the things that stick out to me, the couple things that stick out to me in particular, when you walk in, you've got 2 spots for food trucks. You had these tournaments, you never have enough spots to eat. The courtyard eye, what is labeled eye, is big tournaments. You have teams trying to come in and meet. You have teams trying to get out. We're pushing them out of the dugouts. Hey, we've got to get the next teams in. That provides a big area for teams to meet coming in, for teams to meet going out. We've even discussed some open air canopies, some open air shelters. You've got the central E is your central concession stand, press box, maintenance office, umpire room. But to me, when you walk in, if you're looking at the entrance when you walk in, if we could do that stadium right, that would be the centerpiece. When you walk in, you'd see the fields to the side, but to me, that would be what would stand out, that stadium. And there's other partners that we could talk to about also coming in, contributing to the project, some other opportunities as well.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
is the cost the same for all 3 concepts?
Yeah, it was primarily the same. There wasn't anything that we knocked one out of the ballpark. One was 25-30% more. We were trying to keep everything very, very, very much the same. One of the things that we talked about was almost having a grand entrance, that there would be a place to do ticketing, because if people are just able to wander up to the field and not have to pay if you want to be able to do that. So this one is very good at basically centrally sending everybody right to the main gate up D.
Kind of catch him at the roundabout, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Madam Mayor, I guess this question's for LaMarco. How do we go about funding this?
Well, there's a couple ways. We're part of the way there because ARPA funds paid for the engineering piece and some of the construction. If you all recall, $1.4 million was allocated towards this. But as Maxie stated, there's opportunity to host maybe a AA baseball team that would come in and help us fund this. And I mean, I envision field number 2 or A being a stadium that's home to a AA team. And in such, we've been approached by a couple of people that wanted to make Hope Mills their home. So that's another funding opportunity.
That's good.
And then I guess another way is, beg the state and federal for for funding to help, put together. Part of the of what we're doing now is pretty soon we'll have a shovel-ready project, and there's always the request for shovel-ready projects in this region, and in about 9 more months we're going to have that, and so having that and having a shovel-ready project to go, to offer up for funding, I mean, that's an actual plus. And then there's also the B word, bond issuance in a few years. But I think the design piece is the first, and then what's attractive as far as parks and recreation bonds is having shovel-ready projects, and we'll be there in another year or so. So hopefully I answer your question.
Partway. We getting there. Yes.
Madam
Mayor?
Mayor?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I just want, for those who can't see what it says up there, so on like letter H, it has food truck parking, and then it has, the batting cages, and then the concession stuff. So there's an opportunity, not even just for the baseball teams to potentially hold tournament. I mean, there's potential to make money for other operations there too, so it's not like this is generating money for the town,
Yes.
so. I like that a lot. I like C. I like the,
And Max
C
just
plan.
reminded me, I forgot to say this, but sponsorships and naming rights, that's also an opportunity, so I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Mayor,
Sir?
Mayor, what kind of action, if any, are you looking for from the board tonight?
Yes.
Well, you've done part of it. Just give us an idea of what your preferred is, and any comments or concerns you may have in the next 2 weeks or so I can get them back to CHA, and then we'll give them a notice to proceed and direction to go on to design development with our preferred
So
concept.
staff's recommendation is C, right?
We prefer C unanimously.
Well, that should be,
Yeah,
that should be good enough, right?
yeah.
So anything else we need to do, or?
Is that good?
That's good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have to do anything from the start?
Consensus, or we got to vote, make a motion?
Yeah, want to have a, do you think we need to put that in form of a motion?
Yes.
I'll make that a motion
Okay.
That we-
concept C.
that we fund the,
No.
$13,139, and for the engineering, and $131,385 for this phase of the operation. Make that in a motion.
That has already
Been-
happened.
That's already-
We've already funded it. So what, the motion would just be to accept concept C.
Yeah, and a consensus is probably sufficient.
Okay,
Yes.
so consensus,
I'm good.
See?
good,
Yeah.
I'm
good,
good.
good, good.
I'm good, we
Concept
just
C.
haven't hit a ball yet. I'm ready to go. Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
All righty. Next.
Proclamation, is it? No?
Thank you, guys.
Recognition.
Thank the town. Thank the citizens. I've been working on this project for a while.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to read a special recognition of our interim town manager, Chancellor McLaughlin. Prior to his appointment as interim town manager, Chancellor F. McLaughlin enrolled in the University of North Carolina School of Government, Municipal, and County Administration course. The comprehensive course spanning 8 months is designed for city and county managers, department heads, and other city officials whose responsibilities require an understanding of local government functions beyond individual areas of specialization which Chancellor is quite familiar with. While Chancellor is currently our interim town manager, he still operates as the planning director, developmental services director, economic development director, and oversees our code enforcement department. Chancellor has a BS degree in landscape architecture from NCA&T University, and prior to joining the town in 2015, he was a former project manager for the city of Greensboro, community and development planner for the city of Atlanta, Georgia. During his time with the city of Atlanta, he was responsible for the urban design division, subdivision, streetscape design division, and zoning and plan review. At the city of Greensboro, he served as the project manager for construction in all redevelopment areas and was the lead on restructure of the minority and women business enterprises to increase participation rates for minority contractors on city projects. Some of his awards include current Vice Chair of Action Pathways, the Board of Directors on behalf of the Town of Hope Mills, and sits as Chair of the Finance and Personnel Committees. He's graduate of Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce Leadership Fayetteville Program. He is graduate of the United Way of Cumming County Multicultural Leadership Development Program, a graduate of the Institute for Community Leadership Program at Methodist College, has mentored at Rockfish Elementary School. On May 4th, 2023, interim town manager McLaughlin completed the 8-month municipal and county administration course through the University of North Carolina School of Government. Please join the Hope Mills Board of Commissioners and the Hope Mills town staff in congratulating Mr. McLaughlin on this notable achievement. And at this time, I'm going to ask all of our police officers that are in attendance if you'll come up and stand in front of the board. Can y'all do that? I know y'all don't like to be in public's eye, but come on up. You are every day, just not in the not as a large group. And I'm sure this is one shift because I know we got to have some still out there on the road. We have to reassure everybody. Okay.
Look at the ladies. We have several ladies
Yes. look at here. All right.
Because we can work.
Just so you know, this is National Police Week, May 15th through 21st, to recognize National Police Week 2023 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those police officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities and safeguarding our democracy. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as Police Week. Whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police has declared police officer safety and wellness a top priority. And the IACP Center for Officer Safety and Wellness promotes the importance of individual, agency, family, and community safety and wellness awareness. Whereas the members of the Police Department of the Town of Hope Mills play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of our community. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. Whereas the men and women of the Police Department of the Town of Hope Mills unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Jackie Warner, call upon all citizens of the Town of Hope Mills and upon all patriotic, civil, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 15th to May 21st as Police Week with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which our community may join in commemorating police officers past and present who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities, have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for serving the rights and security of all citizens. I further call upon all citizens of the Town of Hope Mills to observe May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, to honor those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And I want to thank you because I just had so many people congratulate us on the things that you're doing in the community, the ways that you've been seen just the past week. And it's amazing that you all have the time and devotion to not only protect us, but also let the community see you out there. So I'd like to present this to Chief Dollinger and the department and let you know that not only do we thank you for your service today and every day and not just this week, but we appreciate everything that you've done for us. And again, y'all, great job. And I think
Thank you.
we all need to give them a great big hand. And y'all will stand and
I just wanted to thank you for presenting this to our department, and I want to thank all of my guys and girls here. I am honored to lead them. They're an excellent group, and I couldn't do it without this team. They're a great group of officers, and I'm proud to be their boss.
thank you.
I am, yes.
And I want you to start, if you'll just turn right around, and we want you to start and go all the way down and get a handshake from each commissioner. I think that's very appropriate.
No, right, just come this way.
In front of us.
Be a whole lot easier. Be a whole lot easier. Come this way.
There's no room behind us.
They're gonna come down.
Yeah, look. Look, you come this way. Oh, man.
Somebody stole my donut.
Man, I thought it, man. Jerry, get up, man. You gotta get up, Jerry. They did it the wrong way, see? I just had them fan around there, you turn. You know what I mean? Hey, good to see you again. Congratulations. Thank y'all. Thank you. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you again, sir. Thank you for leadership. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim, where you going? You part of the police department too. Might get a picture here.
You're right, Mr. Mitchell. Ashley's a huge part of our
Yes,
team.
she is.
And we also, she is considered a member of our.
That's right.
Yes, she is.
Thank you for all you're doing.
She had a lot to do with our bike rodeo too.
Yeah, I know she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought her name was Jamie.
So proud of you.
But she did too.
Oh, that's Ashley.
Jamie and she.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got them mixed up then. Tell her to correct me next time.
Now I'd like the members that are here from our Public Works Department, if you'll come on down. And I see
They don't get a handshake.
It'll be easy. It'll be easy just for their
Don.
handshakes.
Did I say that loud again?
Yeah. Come on down, Don. I'll come down and join you so you won't be by yourself. How about that?
This mic is killing me.
2 months ago, they were
Then
complaining
he'll just walk by.
because
Here we go. All right. Connecting the world through public works. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, quality of life, and well-being of the people of the town of Hope Mills. Whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens, where it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and the children in the town of Hope Mills to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. Whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Resolved, I, Mayor Jackie Warner, do hereby designate the week May 21st through 27th as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with the representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Thank you for all you do, and all those people that back you up.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Good job, Don. Yeah, that ain't gonna hurt nothing there, is it? Good.
All right, now at this time, we have public hearings. Our first public hearing is case ZNG-003-23, initial zoning of 8.11 plus or minus acres to the CTP Planned Service and Retail District or to a more restrictive zoning district located at the corner of Waldo's Beach Road and Camden Road, submitted by the Town of Hope Mills agent on behalf of CBMM Properties LLC and CJR Property Holdings LLC, the owners. And I'll turn it over to Emily at this time.
Tonight we have the initial zoning request for ZNG-03-23 for request to zone C2P Planned Service and Retail District. The Town of Hope Mills received a contiguous annexation petition for 8.11 acres of land tied to PIN numbers 9494-75-5565 and 9494851612. Subject property is located at the northeast intersection of Waldo's Beach Road and Camden Road. Access to the property will either be from Waldo's Beach Road or Camden Road. It is dependent upon what is approved by NCDOT once the property owner applies for driveway permits. Board of Commissioners accepted the petition under Resolution R2023-09 and annexation number A2023-02. Set public hearing for today, May 15th. Annexation petition was approved with authorization to begin initial zoning to the C2P Planned Service and Retail District. The Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan calls for office, institutional, and parks at this location. This request is not compliant but has no comments from the relevant departments. And this is showing the physical location of the property. As you can see, it's on the corner of Camden Road and Waldo's Beach Road. And this is showing where utilities is located. The water is the blue lines and sewer is the green. And this is showing the Cumberland land use plan, Southwest Cumberland land use plan. here's some pictures showing the physical location. As you can see, the zoning sign is the actual location of the property. And I'd like to open the floor for public hearing.
Motion to open public hearing.
Okay, have a
Second.
motion? Have a second?
Second.
Okay, at this time, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this project? Is there anyone that would like to speak against this project?
Motion to close public hearing.
Okay, motion to close public hearing.
Second.
And was everyone notified? Because I know, just because I know previously, like 4 or 5 years ago, Camden Woods and Camden Estates, which if they're not here, they're not here, but they were very much wanting everything in that area to stay residential. So I just bring that to the board's attention. However, there's no one here speaking for or against it, so.
I did send notification to all adjacent property owners to include across the street
Mhm.
from them, off Camden Road. And I did speak to a couple of residents where they just wanted to know what was going
there.
on. So I explained about the zoning, and they were annexed into the town, and they said that was fine. To them, it made sense that it would be zoned that because it almost backs up to Food Lion.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. Okay, any questions from any of the board members? Any other things to ask in reference to this? All right, is there,
I'll make the motion.
okay.
Madam Mayor. In ZNG 0323, the Town of Hope Mills Planning Staff recommends approval of the initial zoning request to CP2, Plan, Service, and Retail District, and finds that although the request is not consistent with the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan 2013 designation, the economic and regional impact of the proposed development fits within the vision and long-term outlook of the area, and that no other request for this application will be made. Approval of the request is reasonable and in the public interest because the district requested is in harmony with the surrounding existing uses and zoning as in the line with the future vision of the area of Hope Mills.
okay, have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Seeing none opposed. All right, the next item on our agenda is case ZNG 004-23, initial zoning of 8.33 plus or minus acres to R5 residential district or to a more restrictive zoning district located at the corner of Huntington Ridge Road and Rockfish Road. And it was submitted by the Town of Hope Mills agent on behalf of Bridgeport Homes LLC owners. Turn it back to Emily.
Town of Hope Mills received contiguous annexation petition for 8.33 acres of land. They're tied to PIN numbers 04-86-9636, 0404-867362, 0404-86-8703, 0404-86-9435, and 0404-86-7016. Subject property is located near the northwest intersection of Hunting Ridge Road and Rockfish Road. Access to the property will most likely be from Hunting Ridge Road. Board of Commissioners accepted petition under Resolution R2023-07, annexation number A2023-02, and set public hearing for today, May 15th. Annexation petition approved with authorization to begin initial zoning to the R5 residential district. The Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan does call for medium-density residential at this location, and the request is compliant with the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. And this is showing the physical location of the property. The same owner of these properties is the same owner of the properties that line actual Hunting Ridge Road. So it's probably gonna be the whole corner. And then this shows location of water and sewer. Again, the water is the blue lines and the green is for sewer. And then this is showing the Southwest Land Use Plan for medium density residential. got the physical pictures for showing the idea of the location. And if there are no further questions, ask to open the floor for a public hearing.
Madam Mayor, I have a
Yes.
question. You
Okay.
said the property to the, well, I guess looking at it, to the right of it is owned by the same owner?
I believe so.
Okay.
Motion open for public hearing.
Okay, motion hearing is open at this time. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this zoning? Anyone against this proposal? Hearing none, seeing none, motion to close.
Motion to close
Close.
public hearing.
Thank you. Any questions now from the board in reference to this?
I'd just be glad when it's zoned so they can clean it up.
I've seen they've been working on removing the debris. So.
I've had some complaints about that, and when I explained to them, that's not in the city limits. Well, I catch it then.
Okay, do I have any other discussion? Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve Z&G 004-23 for the initial zoning request to the R5 residential district and find that the request is consistent with the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan 2013 designation. The economic and regional impact of the proposed development fits within the vision and long-term outlook of the area. Approval of the request is reasonable and in the public interest because the district requested is in harmony with surrounding existing uses and zoning.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Seeing none opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. And we do not have anyone that has signed up for public comments. So next, we have our consent agenda. Is there anything from your, what, we do?
I have no intention of speaking, but may I? It'll be very short.
Go ahead.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay, is the
yes, I'm okay with it.
permission of the board?
I'd say
Board
don't do
okay?
it.
Okay,
okay
yes,
with it.
sir.
That's
Need
why
to,
we're here.
Give your name and your address, and you can speak to the board.
I apologize for not signing in, but I had no intention of speaking. My name is Ronald Lance. I live at 5004 Jefferson Walk Road. I had no intention of speaking again, but when the gentleman came up and talked about emergencies, I have, where I previously lived in Ohio, the fire department, because of various emergencies, had the ability to refill oxygen bottles for those citizens that needed them in an emergency. My wife needed air. When a hurricane came through, we had no power, no way to regenerate the tanks. Would there be possible for a program within the fire department or other department where something like that could be set up for an emergency situation?
That would be,
Something we look into.
yeah, make a
Fire
note
chief
of
and
that,
police-
and
or
then let our
fire-
fire department know. I think probably with emergency services, especially, I know when we had a situation when a lot of power was out during the hurricanes, we did have to have a backup for people that were in need, or else we had to move them somewhere where they could get what they needed. So, but that would be something our town manager, Mr. McLaughlin, if he would add that to that emergency services survey they're
Request.
gonna be doing, and then also,
Yes.
it would be good to let the fire department be in on that as far as a suggestion of way of doing that. Thank you, sir.
So are you a
Also,
veteran?
The fire department's not here.
Okay,
Emergency services
he will get them.
Would you thank them for me for their response time and their professional attitude toward my wife when she needed emergency?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you a veteran, sir?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm a Marine.
All right.
Thank you for your
Hey, I
service.
need to give you my card, and we can see what we can, let me
I'm
give-
also, by the way, a disabled law enforcement officer. So thank you for your proclamation.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now with our consent agenda, is there anything on the consent agenda that you would like pulled and moved to new business? Or do I have a
Motion to
motion?
approve consent
Motion to
agenda.
approve consent. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Seeing none opposed. Old business, there is none. New business, consideration of nominating committee recommendation. And I'll
Mayor, I'd
turn
like
it
to
over.
make a motion that we accept the nominating committee's recommendation.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the nominating committee's recommendation. Second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. And manager's report, do we have anything that we've needed added to the manager's report?
Just let you know, if you notice in your packets, I have streamlined the manager's report in a way that allows it to be uploaded on our admin page. By the public, just in the last week, have the following additions. Public Works will begin mosquito spraying on the 25th of this month, next Thursday. It'll be every Thursday for the rest of the summer. I did announce this at the last minute, but our last meeting with Code Enforcement Officer Claire Hines graduated summa cum laude with a degree in political science from Beverly State University this past Saturday.
Nice.
The new irrigation system for the rear parking lot is now installed and fully operational. The lights for rear parking lot are currently installed. I hope they're on now. I'm not sure if they're actually, they'll be operational tonight, but it should be in the next couple of days. Also, Executive Deputy Town Clerk, Executive Assistant, Mrs. Shattuck sent out a email about your response times or available dates for the stewards of children training. She's gonna send out a doodle poll tomorrow. That'll allow for everybody's things to be captured in a way where we kind of do a lot of the things on our side of children things.
Send an email, please.
Yeah, I can just send this in an email.
Yeah.
But our CERT team has created a CERT team academy that they'd like to unveil. They're getting recognized at the Wood Perkins game on the 24th of May, between 3 and 5. They're asking anybody to come out. I would like to commend our police department. They participated in the Dirtbag Hills macaroni cook-off, and I think they received the most traditional mac and cheese. They had the event Friday. They had a bunch of hot dogs and hamburger buns left over. They donated to the Harms House. And I would like to announce two things with the Oakland Chapel. The damaged Bradford Pier is scheduled to be cut down this coming Wednesday. And as you announced, the ribbon cutting for the chapel is scheduled for Friday, May 19th at 11 a.m.
Madam Mayor,
Thank you, sir.
I just
Yes.
have a question. Is the walking trail completely open now?
It's technically not open, but it is completed. We attempted to stop people from walking.
Yeah, because I don't see tape up anymore.
It is complete. We're doing, I'll just let you guys know, we are scheduling possible final walkthrough for the entire site this week. Only thing left, if you recall, when I put the ribbon cutting for the public safety center on, I said I wasn't gonna reschedule until I saw grass, striped parking spaces. The parking spaces have been striped. They are on the landscaping today, tomorrow, Wednesday. So we're looking for final sign-offs on Thursday. So, everything is moving forward towards completion. I will say that we're not stopping people from using the trail, even though we really would wish they would.
Yeah.
not. So there's no,
Gotcha. Man,
immediate concern with them using it.
yeah.
We just wanted them to wait till the concrete cured, and it did, so.
Okay. All righty. At this time, we have scheduled a closed session. Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to enter a closed session, NCGS 143-318-11A6 and NCGS 143-318-11A3 to discuss a personnel issue and consult with the attorney on matters within the attorney-client privilege.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Have a motion, second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And we will see you back as quick as we can finish up this closed session. Thank you all again for being here this evening.
Thank y'all.
At this time, I'll call our meeting back to order. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Move to
No.
seal the
Oh.
minutes of the closed session until such time as the release of the information would no longer frustrate the purpose of the closed session and further no action was taken.
Have a motion to have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Now do I have another motion?
All right, Jerry, you take that.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn. We'll
Since
see.
I messed it up.
We'll either see you Friday or see you in
You-
June.
you
And make sure you
failed.
get any comments about the budget to Chancellor.
You filled your